Hi there, this is Jimmy Crain with OutThereFlyFishing.com, and this is going to be one of my fly tying videos here. We're going to start tying my version of a diamond hair minnow, which is, I like to call it the NarrowNosed diamond hair minnow. It's based off of a John Romer pattern. I just can't ever quite tie mine exactly like his, so after playing around a bunch, I found a pattern that works for me tying wise. And I'll start with 10 wraps of .020 lead. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the scrap. You want to just knock down those points and sort of push the lead together. Leave yourself enough gap to tie off your head there. Next we're going to start with white 6/0 thread uni, and we're going to tie that in behind the lead, wrap forward and then back, and you want to stop where you're just about at the point or a little bit past, and pop off your excess thread. Next we are going to take a bit of opal flash and just pull out a strand of it. Cut off one strand, and what we're going to do here is we're going to just tie it in at the rear. And then once you got it tied in, just wrap your thread forward to in front of the lead. What I like to do here is just keep wrapping it there in the back until you get it the same height as the lead. Once you have it at the same height as the lead, then go ahead and start wrapping forward. And we're just going to go to the end of the lead, maybe a little bit over, and then head back. And then back to the front again. And that's just going to hide the lead. Go ahead and put one wrap to catch it. Try not to block the camera too much. And then just pull that little tidbit out of the way and wrap it back so it's heading backwards. Grab your scissors, trim away the waste, and now you're ready to start tying in the rest of the materials. That's going to be the base to the fly. Next we're going to go ahead and start with some Arizona diamond hair. I'm going to start the middle. This is actually going to be the middle of our fly. This is the diamond hair pearl green color. You can play around with it a little bit. Pick out any color you want. We're going to start with a pretty good hunk of material. I know it's kind of hard to see, but that's going to be the middle section, and we're actually going to use half as much of this for the top and bottom of the fly, but the middle is going to be our big section. It's also going to be shorter. So what I'm going to start off by doing is stacking this and trying to get it all the fibers same length all together. And then once we have those all together, we're going to go ahead and kind of split the difference and cut it in half. So now we have two hanks. Now I'm going to let one go on the table, and then this flat edge, we don't want a flat edge, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is start teasing some of these fibers out and just get them uneven. So they're uneven. Then I'm going to set that bunch down, and I'll pick up the other bunch and that flat edge. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of tease those out and just get them where they're uneven. Now we're going to take those two pieces and I'm going to kind of intertwine them so they're kind of half and half, roll them together, and then kind of pull once again from the ends and kind of just get everything stacked up. Now when I'm stacking it this way, I'm not trying to really get all the material even. I'm just trying to get it actually so it's halfway and halfway to the two clumps. But at the same time get any of those super long fibers or unruly fibers and get them kind of in the middle and get them straightened out as much as possible. I got that pretty good. Now next, I'm going to tie it onto our hook. Now what you want to kind of do is you actually want to tie it on one side and the other, so it splits in a V around the hook. So I'm going to start on the closest side to you, about even, and it's hard to tell, but I'm actually tying it on this side of the hook. And I'm going to go ahead and make 2 wraps around. Now my material's attached and it's attached to the side of the hook, and then I'm going to grab this other bunch and actually pull it to my side, and I'm going to go ahead and latch that down with 3. Now if you look there, I got a V. I got half the material on one side, half on the other. We're going to go ahead and pull those together, make a couple more wraps. Now all that material's together. I'm going to go ahead and pull out any loose fibers that might have been not trapped in there, and we're going to get those pulled out. That's going to be the middle of our fly. Next, we are going to tie in some Arizona Minnow hair. It's just like the diamond hair, just without the flash. And we're going to use about half as much of this material, but the difference is we're not going to cut it in half either. This tends to be a little bit longer at times, which is great. Kind of ties everything in. Once again, we're going to stack everything so all our fibers are even. We just won't cut them this time. So just get your fibers all evened up as much as possible. I'm very happy with. And once again, you want to tie it on one side, but you're going to want to make sure it comes in underneath that material. And I'm not happy where my thread positioning is. Let me get it moved up here a little bit. Place it on the side of the hook, making sure to be maybe a little bit past where the original material was in. Put 2 wraps once again, and then pull this material towards you. And 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and pull any loose fibers. And that is the underneath of our fly, and as you can see, it's a little bit longer. We might have to trim a little bit, but that's not a big deal. Now if you want, if it looks kind of good to you, you're okay. I like to put a 2-turn whip finish in here, just to hold my thread, and I like to flip it upside down and just kind of look at the belly and see if those fibers look like they're even on the bottom. If they're not even on the bottom, you can take your pick and split them and even them up. These ones I'm pretty happy with, so I'm just going to leave it. Now I'm going to take some 5-second fingernail glue. I'm going to stroke those fibers back. Put a little drop right on the belly of that fly and hold it there for about 5 to 10 seconds. That's just going to keep the hook from fouling up. John does this on his original pattern, and I tend to agree with him that it just keeps the hook from fouling. So that's probably set enough. Go ahead and flip the fly back up. This is the green chartreuse. This is going to end up being a chartreuse colored fly on this particular one. You can tie many different colors. That's what I'm just doing the demo with. And once again, we want to grab about the same amount that was on the bottom of the fly. So, pretty thin patch. And once again, we're going to line up all the fibers. What's going to make this fly look as though it's half chartreuse and half white and white sparkle is that when we tie this clump on, we are not going to tie it in a V. So one clump is going on top of the other. We're going to tie it right on top of the hook, both pieces. So we're literally going to line that up so it goes to the tail, I'll put one wrap around, two wraps around, got that secure, pull this back, put a few more wraps, go ahead and stroke out our material. And as you can see, because we stacked it instead of V'ing it, it just made a nice little head on the, or not a head, but a topping on the fly, where it ends up being about, you know, it has the perception of being larger. Go ahead and tidy up the head a little bit. This isn't too crucial because we're going to end up putting some eyes here at the nose, and that's kind of where I came up with the narrow nose concept. Go ahead and do a whip finish. I like a double 3-turn finish on most of my flies. And trim away the thread. Next, I'm going to grab some chartreuse eyes. These are going to be 2.0 size eyes that we're going to be using today. And I like to just kind of turn the fly sideways. Put a little drop of glue on this side. Drop of glue on this side. Right on that thread. Grab your bodkin and drop on an eye. Grab another eye here, flip it, and drop on the other eye. Now those eyes aren't quite straight, and I like to get them nice and even. Kind of make them look like they're kind of riding up high. I also kind of like to V them in so they both look like they're looking forward. Once you have the eyes where you're happy, go ahead and stroke back the material. Grab another thing of your glue, and I like to put a drop right across the top of the eyes to kind of fill that area in. Rotate it over. Take another drop of glue. Put it right there on the bottom. Give the bottom a second to soak in. Re-pull this down. There is our finished fly. That is the narrow-nosed diamond hair minnow. If you'd like, if you don't like how long these end fibers are, usually I don't notice that the fish tail, so I'll come in here, don't cut because it'll be flat. Just come in here and kind of leave your scissors open but rub back and forth, and that'll slowly cut it, but it'll cut it unevenly. So then when you stroke out the feathers, not the feathers, but the material, it doesn't look like someone just snipped it off. And that, once again, is the narrow-nosed diamond hair minnow. Thanks for watching.